right, here back with another video. And before I get into it, I feel like I gotta make this disclaimer only because that's the time we're living in. Sensitive times, I guess, and people just assume things. So, when I talk about this video or the content that's going to be in this video, however long it's going to be, this is not coming from a place of hatred. It's not coming from a place of being judgmental. This is me simply springing up facts. This is also me simply just stating my opinion and asking a question and bringing awareness to a problem that I feel right now is being purposely ignored. What that is, well, we're talking about the death of one of the stars of the show, is a Super Sized Salon, and I don't watch the show, so I just heard about it when I saw news about this death about one of the stars, Jamie Lopez. Jamie Lopez was a 39-year-old woman who, again, was on this show, and she has passed away a couple days ago from when I'm recording this video. And it was announced that she passed away a couple days ago due to heart complications. Now, yes, you can be my size, right? You can look like me and look healthy and still have heart complications or other health issues. But not disrespecting Jamie Lopez as well. I still think she was a beautiful woman. But she was not built like me. She did not look like me. Now, she's not a man, so she's not going to be built and look like a man. But, she was plus sized or supersized or overweight or obese, fat, whatever word you want to use to describe her weight, she was that. And to have heart complications at 37 years old, one can correlate her weight to that. As many people who were younger than 50, 60 even if they were up there, many people who are in their 30s or even 20s, and even some folks younger than that, unfortunately, have passed away due to heart complications because of weight issues. I mean, there are slews of just information that you can find on the internet that will detail you these situations here. You can go into your local hospital, your local doctor's office, or your local hospital and talk to the nurses and doctors about these things. They might not give you actual patient names but they will tell you stories, or you can even ask the people in your life who work in the medical field, especially if they work in the hospitals and things of that nature. They can tell you situations about somebody who is younger than 60 years old, younger than 70, 80, who is not of the elderly age, right? Dying of heart complications due to their weight. And the reason why I said that I feel like one of the things that's being ignored now, last time I looked, I tried to look to see if this was trending on Twitter 2 days ago when I first got news about this. And it was only including my tweet about it, which was asking people if they were going to talk about it. The tweets, there was a total of only 781 tweets. And again, that was including my tweets. So 780 tweets prior to my one tweet about it. That's not enough tweets to get something trending. And not on Twitter at least. Probably some smaller platform or whatever, of course. But definitely not on Twitter. You're going to need a lot more than 781 tweets if you want to get someone or something trending on Twitter. Now, one can say, well, we don't know about Jamie Lopez. We don't know who she is. I did not know who she was. Literally, I was just opening my phone, and then when you open up Google or whatever, there's like they have the news tabs or whatever, and I read the headline, and I read into the article, and then I found out about her. Like I said, I didn't know about the show prior to this, and I didn't know about her prior to this. But me not knowing who she was or about the show does not mean that I don't think that this is an important topic to talk about. This is not an important topic to talk about. You know, just we are living in a country, especially in the United States, that seems to, for lack of a better word, people are getting bigger, right? People are getting bigger, and these things cause health issues. They cause health issues, I'm not speaking about this in a form of hatred or to belittle people. I think it's whack when people look at individuals who are plus size and they automatically assume that they're not pretty, they're not this, that, and the third. I love big women. People are gonna say it's a fetish or whatever. I don't think it's a fetish because I like other body types as well. I think it'd be borderline fetish if I was only focusing on women who are big girls or whatever the case was, and then sexualizing them like crazy. No, but what I'm saying is I find that body type attractive just as much as I find a more toned body type or even skinnier body type or a more shapely body type that comes with less of, I guess, fat in the stomach area or midsection area, whatever the case is, right? Either what I'm saying is this is not coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of love and wanting better, but not coming from a place of sexualization or fetishization, but it's also not coming from a place of hate. And we need to stop with this whole idea that it's either one way or another, and it can't be somewhere like where it's just not either of those things. It's someone showing concern for their fellow human being. Now, as much as I, again, say that I do find women who are plus size to be attractive, or possibly attractive, just like there's a possibility that I find women of another body type, smaller or similar or not, to be attractive as well, does not mean that I'm going to be someone who says we have to ignore the health issues that come with that. And that's really the conversation I really want to start. It's not this aspect of, let's shame fat people for being fat and hopefully they start hitting the gym like Ernest does. No. And my thing is we need to acknowledge what the truth is. The truth is nobody at 37 years old, whether they are built like me or built like Jamie Lopez, should not be dealing with heart complications. But we also have to nobody period, to be honest with you, at any age, but definitely not at 37. But we also have to be honest and say that these things can happen to a 37-year-old, a 27-year-old, a 17-year-old. Because they're not taking care of themselves. And these are the conversations that get people canceled, or these are the conversations that I see online people having. When I looked into some of the tweets about Jamie Lopez, there were borderline tweets just like that talking about this is not the right time. If I could find that exact tweet that I'm referencing, I will have it plastered on the screen. But there are tweets, again, where people don't want to talk about this because they'd rather put on this fantasy that everything is fine with somebody being built like that, or everything is like, yes, I get it. There's people who are big boned or whatever, right? There are people who can be somewhat healthy or whatever the case is, right? Not have serious health issues, let me put it that way, and still be built the way that they are built and built bigger, right? I understand these situations are a thing, and I'm not denying that as well. But that's definitely not that's not the bulk of everybody who is of that weight class. That's definitely not the case for everybody. There's a lot of people, and this is what the science says. Y'all always want to trust the science, right? But again, when the science says something that you personally don't want to admit to, then all of a sudden we have to think about other factors. We have to factor in all these other things. When people were saying that about the vaccines, well, I don't need to take a vaccine to be well because my body does this, my body responds to this, my body responds to that. I actually do better without vaccines. Y'all was calling them crazy. Y'all was saying it was too pie in the sky and they needed to trust the science. Well, the same science that tells you that vaccines are the end all be all, or vaccines are protectors, or whatever the case, whatever vaccines are to you, is the same science that says that if you are a specific weight, specific height, and whatever the case is, these health issues can happen. But again, bringing that up is a problem to some folks, a lot of folks, not some folks, but it's a problem to people. And I think that's whack. I think there's no way in hell we're honestly going to get past a situation like this if we're not willing to have these conversations. Having that conversation does not mean you look at a Jamie Lopez and you shame her and you say that she's ugly, she's fat, she's worthless, and all this other stuff. Having that conversation just means that you make sure that Jamie Lopez and anybody else understands that there are health risks, that there's risks to their health for making the personal choice to live the way that they're living. That's all that is. And to me, it's a personal choice at the end of the day, whether you want to live that way or not. Yeah, there are other factors that play. Slower metabolism. Something about like the glands in people's bodies. I'm no doctor. I'm just going based off of things I've heard in the past as well from actual people in the medical field, right? But like there are other factors, and I get it, I understand it, and I'm not eliminating these factors as well. But these are factors that aren't the end all be all. A lot of the health other things that are going on is people's personal choice, which is why I say people's body size, whether you look like me or whether you look like Jamie Lopez or whether you look skinny as heck or whatever. And you're not, and again, anorexia is the thing, but if that is not the case for you and you don't look like either of us or you look like someone else, it's a personal choice. These are lifestyle choices. And all I'm saying is educating people on lifestyle choices, the possible risk of having a lifestyle choice, a possible risk of whatever, of having these choices is not hatred. It is not bashing. It is not anything of that nature. Simply calling them names because of their certain way, yeah, that's hatred, that's bashing. But saying, hey, this could possibly happen because of this lifestyle choice, that's like, again, when people talk about the whole don't slut shame me, right? To somebody who is having unprotected sex with people, and then someone were to bring up the risk of what could happen if they were to continue on having a life of reckless sex, right? Let me just put it that way, reckless sex, right? And they continue to have that with people, just everybody, or just, in general, reckless sex. There are risk factors to that. And anybody, whether it be a doctor, whether it be just a person, right? Because you don't have to have a medical, again, y'all say listen to the science. When doctors say y'all ignore it, so clearly you're not listening to the science either. But you don't have to be a doctor to know these things. But if someone were to say to somebody who's having reckless sex out here, yo, these are the risk factors of having reckless sex, and that person goes, you're shaming me, no, they're bringing up facts. Now, if they were calling you names because of what you were doing, they were actually shaming you, as in belittling you, making you feel less than because of the sexual decisions you've made with your body, that is when the shaming comes in. If they were treating you different, they were hating on you because of that, that's when the hatred comes in. But bringing up facts, it's not that. It's not that. So, I pray that Jamie Lopez's family, they, whoever was close to her, they look into the situation and they start to apply what happened with their loved one to themselves. Whether, again, I don't care if they were the same size as her or not, they can look at that and apply that to themselves. I hope other people, even people who looked up to Jamie, can say, hey, this is something that needs to, and definitely the show. If the show is going to continue on, I don't know what the show is about. It sounds like it's about a salon, a hair salon that is either ran by a plus size woman, or it's specifically for plus size women. Both ideas sound cool to me, to be honest with you. I think I like seeing like inclusive stuff like that. But I hope that they do an episode if they're gonna keep her memory in their mouths and like memorializing her. They have to be honest about it. They have to be honest about, okay, I know we do this show and all this stuff, but we gotta understand the health risk because we are just like Jamie, you know? And what happened to her can also happen to us. But that won't happen if people just continue on Fantasyland. You got people like, this is not the time to talk about it. Well, then when? Because when people have tried to have these conversations in the past, especially when COVID was first hitting and running rampant in 2020, and people were talking about the health risk of it because of pre-existing conditions and also the weight of individuals, you were saying that's not. There were people saying, "Oh, it's not the time to talk about that. It's time to talk about how to protect yourself, and how to protect yourself is listening to science." Well, science also says you have pre-existing health conditions, whether it be weight-related or not, you are likely going to die if you catch COVID. COVID is going to kill you because of this. So you should do what you need to do, whether that get your weight in check or get your health in check in order for you to not be killed by COVID-19. But that's not the science you want to listen to. The science you want to listen to is the propaganda pushing science that you say that is going to protect everybody, right? Right. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. Once again, rest in peace to her. Again, just to say what I said at the beginning, it's not coming from a place of hatred at all or judgment at all. But I had to say what I had to say because it has to be said. Somebody, I don't care how many people say it's not the time for that. If you felt like it's not the time for that, you could have easily just clicked off this video. Simple as that. Till next time, until next video, you see me when you see me. Peace out.